Intuitive 717. I am back with another video. I hope you guys are doing incredibly well. As always, happy Saturday. So I'm on to just do a quick reading here. I was just playing around with the tarot of sexual magic, just trying to tap into the collective, and I actually got a reading about the divine masculine collective right now. Okay, so I'm going to start with the hermit card here because the energy from the divine masculine feels very heavy in this reading. It feels like he really misses his divine feminine, and with the candle blown out, I feel like he's questioning as to whether or not the connection is over, or if the divine feminine is like finished, like she's done. Okay, and right now what's being shown to him is that the twin flame journey is not like a physical relationship here on earth. It's more of like a spiritual connection that can't be broken, but it can be interrupted by obstacles, or if he needs to take a time out and hermit and be alone with himself in order to process what's happening with him in the divine feminine. And I know we touched on this in the last reading, and I've been talking about it on Patreon, but many of the divine masculines are being pushed to spend time alone, to think about the connection. And I feel that every time they're alone without anybody's influence, the only thing they want to do is move towards this feminine. Okay, but the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving. And I think that the divine feminine at this point is beginning to understand that as well. With the divine masculine moving slowly, this is giving her more incentive to also slow down and take her time on her own journey as well. And that's why I think many feminines are engaging in a lot of self-care. Many of you are doing things that you said that you would set out to do. A lot of you are taking on these challenges. Many of you are seeing that independence on this journey is very important. I'm seeing a lot of divine feminines getting up, dusting themselves off. You guys are going out there and getting your license. Many of you are starting to drive. A lot of you are applying for jobs, maybe trying to take on a second job. Many of you are pondering the thought of moving out on your own. And this could be because you're not wanting to be dependent on other people anymore. I see that many feminines are learning the lesson of just being dependent on themselves so that they don't have to take anybody's crap, okay? And whether this is like family members, friends, partners, like your divine masculine, like whoever it is, I feel that that's what this feminine has set out to do. And at this time, like, that's why this masculine is like, is she done with me? But I don't feel that either of the twin flames genuinely feel that way. I think that on the inside, they both kind of have this inner knowing that, you know, it ain't over till it's over type of thing. You know, both of them can still feel that they're connected with each other, but there's like a standstill right now because the masculine is in this hermit mode here. But he's moving towards her because, again, every time he gets to spend time alone, I feel he's guided in the right way, and he listens to his thoughts and what feels right, and what feels right to him is just moving towards her, giving her some truth, no matter how sour it is to hear. And I think that that's what she's wanting. Like, she's wanting transparency at this point on the journey. So I think many feminines are stepping away from trying to pour out in the connection so much. A lot of you are like, you know what, like, it's really not my job to heal this person or to stick around and put up with like in and out behavior, babysit them while they're in their karmic situations. Like, a lot of masculines would go to the feminine and really discuss a lot of hardships that they were going through in their karmic connections. And I think some feminines were like seeing this as some sort of hope, you know, like, oh, okay, like waiting around, like maybe they'll break up soon, maybe they'll get divorced. And a lot of the divine feminines have had some very harsh tower moments in regards to that. And so many of you guys are stepping into that Empress energy, or even like the Queen of Pentacles energy, and just being more in action, getting yourself out there, feeling very sexy, feeling single, feeling, again, independent and not relying on anything or anyone in order to fulfill you. And that's been a rude awakening for a lot of these masculines because, you know, I think they too also got dependent on just being with the feminine, going to her for like seeking this counsel. Then what would happen is they would return back to their karmic situations and there would be no need to really do any type of inner work, because like going back and forth with the feminine, they would feel so energized and refreshed, and the sort of like very optimistic feeling. And in a way, when they return back to the karmic situations, they would like let things slide or go back into old patterns. And time and time again, I think after that, this feminine was like, I'm just gonna walk this path on my own and see where this takes me. And the masculine's behind her on horse, like, oh no, you don't, you're not getting out of my sight. But she's hesitant this time around. And if many of you are wondering like what's going on with the masculines, like what's happened to put them in the hermit mode, many of you might be like, you know what, they made their decision and they chose to be with their karmic person, or they chose to continue on in karmic lessons, like whatever the case is. Why are they trying to make their way back now, especially when a lot of you are feeling like, at this point you're okay. Like many of you are like, you know what, like for the first time ever, I don't feel like I'm in the chaser energy, even though it seems like the masculine is running. It's like, I don't feel that way. Okay, so what the masculine is not telling you guys is that the moment that energy shifted within you, divine feminine, that's when towers started happening with the divine masculine. And I think that this often happens because those are the lessons that the masculines learn, and even feminines too, when they're in this situation where they're in and out, or they get triggered by their twin flame, or it gets overwhelming, and then they return back to karmic situations. The triggers are still there, the lessons are still there. Things will go smoothly, and then after a while the same lesson will repeat. And I think that that's what's happened with this divine masculine that's put him into this hermit mode, and that he's maybe not opening up and telling you, because I talked about this too, where in the past readings that I've done, I talked about the divine feminine seeing this happen in her twin flame journey. And it's like, out of embarrassment, the divine feminine didn't want to be associated with the masculine and the karmic, because I think like many feminines were like, you felt deceived by the masculine, basically, like when their karmics would just pop up out of thin air. Instead of feeling like hurt and betrayed and angry, I think the energy shifted so much to where you guys just like felt embarrassed for these two people. You felt embarrassed for yourself also. And I think that is what repelled the divine feminine from the masculine, like sort of this time around, which is why he's hermiting so hardcore. And I don't think that he wanted this whole explosion to happen, because things were probably already rocky with the karmic to begin with, and he knew that returning back, there were signs and subtleties that, okay, this is really just not gonna work, but it's like he was already in it. And I think now, like, he can't feel the feminine energetically chasing him. Like, for one, it's one thing to cut communication or whatever, but then it's like behind closed doors, you're looking at their social media, or you're checking in on them, or you're wanting to know what they're doing. I think energetically, like even behind closed doors, many of these feminines stopped like chasing and just putting more effort and time into self-care and digging deep as to why it is, you would even feel triggered to chase. So many of you are like digging apart the wounding that you're feeling, okay, a lot of the heavy emotions, instead of ignoring them. A lot of you are picking it apart, and that's making it easier for you to say, okay, you know what, like, I don't want to be that person, I don't want to be that way, and I don't want to associate myself with a masculine that's doing this. And I think too, like watching the masculines karmic divine feminines, like I think that a lot of you are starting to see that maybe their karmics know about you, and that their karmics know that the divine masculine goes in and out, and the fact that the karmic continues to stay or plays this game, like that's what the divine feminine is just like repulsed by at this time. Like it's just like repulsive to you. And I think that that's why like you're just like, I'm okay with creating space and distance and letting divine timing do its thing. And that's why the masculine is hermiting, because it's like the feminine is walking away so gracefully. I love the way this woman appears in this Knight of Pentacles card here in this deck, because the thing is like the feminine walks away so gracefully. It's like she doesn't do it in a way where there's like, you know, she's throwing shade or she creates drama or whatever. It's like almost like stepping away silently in the night while someone's still asleep, you know, so that you don't cause any trouble whatsoever. And I think that the feminines are doing it from a place of like, this is just the right thing to do. Like, I can't engage with you when I know that it's obviously like triggering your person or continuing to create negativity. Like, many feminines are saying like, you know what, I don't want any part of it. And I think also like you are still sending out that energy of like, listen, I love you, I care for you, I believe in this journey with every bit of my heart. But it's like certain things you're just like, the high priestess, right? Like, I can already foresee what the lesson is here, and I'm not gonna, it makes no sense for me to really, you know, partake in this when I know what the consequences will be, type of thing. And that's like hitting hard for the divine masculines, okay? Because a lot of you may not see or realize that when the feminine gets into this energy, like, I almost feel like the divine masculine sees himself in the mirror in that moment. Like, okay, honestly, I really messed up. Or, you know what, okay, honestly, like, even I'm embarrassed for myself now, type of thing, right? And then they get repulsed by the karmic partner because they know that the karmic partners know and are engaging in all of this. And so it becomes this whole big, let's both run away from each other right now because we both feel like, you know, repulsed by the situation, okay? And I want to get to the 4 and 5 of Cups here because when I was shuffling, guys, these cards came out on their own and like this message just started flowing out, okay? So what you guys may not realize is that like the karmic partner like watches, okay? And I know a lot of you might be like, huh, what? But they watch you guys, and they watch the divine masculine, and the karmic partner always knows when the divine masculine is with the divine feminine or interacting with the divine feminine because there's a shift in his energy, okay? See how the man here looks really distracted? Okay, well, that's the energy I feel with the karmic. It's like they're always watching, and they know when the divine feminine's energy is in the air because it almost like it overflows through the masculine. You know, when he's interacting with the feminine, all of a sudden, like, he's happy for no reason, he's smiling, and he's not even realizing that all these changes are taking place. But it's like there's the karmic still in bed at like 11:30 in the morning, and he's like been up since 5 a.m. He's already hit the gym. He's already cooked himself breakfast. He's doing his laundry. He's whistling. He's humming. Like, and it's like he doesn't even know why he's feeling this shift or this rush of energy. But it's like that's when the karmic partners are like, okay, let me digs down on what's going on here. And so they know how to provoke the divine feminine or create illusions. All right, so be aware of that, guys, and stay in this energy of just being in that Queen of Pentacles or Empress energy of just minding your own business and staying away from things that really just, you know, is going to be a handful. You know, a lot of the times you guys will get those red flags where it's like, don't engage. Seriously, just don't engage. Do what you got to do. Take a break from social media if you need to. You know, spend more time digging into like your creative work, your projects, spending more time on like new ideas, manifesting, trying out new experiences. All of those things really helps you to keep focus of what's really important, which is like constantly aligning your energy to suit what it is you want. Because you go ahead and engage in that karmic energy or that whole situation, and we end up attracting a whole bunch of stuff into our reality that just it kind of like fucks with our headspace a little bit, right? And it creates a lot of like scattered energy where we feel distracted or foggy or worried or triggered, or so just stay clear, don't engage, and yeah, just, you know, allow your counterpart to always deal with their own situations, okay? Now I have the 5 of Cups coming up here as well, and for the first time, like, I actually saw the karmic energy in this card. And that's never happened before, because I'm always like looking at the divine masculine and the divine feminine in these interactions here, but I actually saw the karmic energy in this card. And I think that the thing that keeps happening over and over with the divine masculine situation is that like the karmic partner that he is with, like if the divine masculine, like his lesson is to be authentic and to act with integrity and to be honest and to like be that divine person and not like act out of character, and that includes being with the karmic person or doing things to provoke the karmic partner in return. Like if you know that you want to interact with the divine feminine, you want to be around her and you want to be close to her, then you need to create the proper endings if you know it's hurting other people while you're doing that. So what I feel is happening is that because let's say like the divine feminine engages while the masculine is in these karmic situations, it brings about karma. But with the divine feminine walking away, the divine masculine kind of just gets to see what happens in his own reality. And because this feminine is walking away, the divine masculine is now having to face what's going on here. And what I see is that like what the masculines don't know is that like this karmic has like issues with like just wanting and needing attention all the time from the opposite sex. And in their eyes, like they think it's okay to like flirt, and like what they'll do is they'll tell the divine masculine things like, will you relax, like this person's just a friend, or like don't take it so seriously, we're just friends, or why do you have to be so controlling, or I don't know, like the energy I get is that they know that they're doing it in like a really flirtatious way and accepting offers that they shouldn't be, because they're in a connection with the divine masculine. You guys see that face there in the water? Here, I'll try to get it as close as I can. Okay, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time doing it, guys. This camera has been driving me insane, especially during personal reads. But anyways, there's a face in the water, okay? And I think that is what this divine masculine experiences. Like, there's all kinds of offers being made to this karmic person because, like, they're just naturally flirtatious. And I think that in the beginning, the masculine got into the connection with her because of this very energy. But she's never lost that habit of, like, always wanting it from different people. Like even the way she's kind of like if you guys can look at the image on the card, she's looking at the image in the water almost like she's hiding, like, come here, give me those flowers quickly, I gotta go. And this man's like, what do you mean, like I'm getting down on one knee, like I'm offering you something. And she's like, yeah, just give me the damn flowers. And it's almost like, you know, she does it in this way where, you know, it's like sneaky or whatever. And then when the divine masculine gets really triggered by it, or he might experience like continuous cycles of someone always triggering like his insecurities, like if the karmic partner knows that he struggles with like jealousy, they will like use that as a way to like constantly trigger him or manipulate situations. And I think that that's what the masculine's always bumping heads with this karmic partner because of that very thing. And how the karmic partner will spin it is, again, that really manipulative energy also, which is like they try to convince the divine masculine that they're overreacting. And I think I've talked about this before, guys, you know, like they'll provoke the masculine gets out of line, and instead of doing inner work and like now he's hermiting, but he needs to hermit from the karmic and reflect on this as well. But a lot of these masculines, your inner work is to help heal your anger. Help heal your outbursts, your insecurities. Like if females will manipulate you because of like jealousy, or like because you might struggle with like being possessive, you got to dig deep and find out where that's coming from in order to get yourself out of these cycles. So that way when you get into an interaction, you're not having to go back and apologize because you lost your cool, and now the whole thing becomes about you having to make apologies for your behavior rather than addressing the fact that this person is constantly crossing your boundaries and like being romantic and flirtatious with other men. It's like you never get to the root of that because you end up losing your cool, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're the bad guy, and the whole thing becomes about having to deal with your anger and not why your anger was even triggered in the first place. Okay, so I don't know whose reading this is, but it had to come out. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.